Good day, folks, wherever you might be. I'm Epiphany Smith. Um, we're just kind of having a conversational tarot reading here. I'm really learning my groove and my style in regards to sharing these messages that come through. I do just want to mention, ooh, my rings. I do just want to mention that there was, the messages that came through for me this morning. um, there was kind of a theme about grounding. So I wonder if, I definitely personally need to be reminded often to stay grounded. So what I've learned as somebody who struggles, as somebody whose energy is very like up here and a lot here, over a lot of overthinking. If you relate to that, grounding practices. So I think most, and it's really quite simple, eating is the number one most important, I believe, others might disagree, way to ground. It's foundational. Your body needs fuel. Certain doshas in Ayurveda might struggle. So this is our air signs. Again, very cerebral, very up here, very there's potential and possibility that, if you're not eating, if you're not doing grounding practices, you could become really disconnected from your body, and that can wreak havoc on your life because it's disconnecting you from from your intuition space. If that ground chakra, if your root chakra is not kind of healthy and spinning and vibrant, this could challenge, this could create overthinking, this could create anxiety, this could create difficulties in manifesting. So the importance um, of grounding. So, the most simple, or I don't want to say obvious because people struggle with it. I've struggled with it my whole life, but it is obvious. You're a human, you're an animal, you need fuel, you need to eat. And that weight of the food in your gut is good for you. That's why, folks fast before doing like a spiritual retreat because they're not trying to leave their body, but trying to open up here more to access higher realms. But if you're someone who naturally goes through long fasting periods, um, and if you're struggling staying grounded, always do what's best for you. Again, use your discernment. I'm not a doctor. I'm not in anything. I'm just a person who's lived and had experiences. But we have eating, we have exercise, getting really viscerally into your body. And I'm still crunched on my feminine. So we'll do this. What up? Um, Exercise not only is the activation of your heart to pump the blood through your body, down to the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes, you're now like fully present in your body. And it's like, you got to root down to rise up because what happens, and I could tell you from experience, if you go up here too much into this, because we have the seven chakras of the body, and they keep going up. And that's where you see people talking about multidimensionality and um, all kinds of things up there in the ether, all the different realms and levels of the spirit world. If you listen to ASAP Rock, that's what that reminds me of, that song. Um, the angelic realms. I don't feel well versed enough to speak on this, but to know that it's up there, and if you're not grounded enough to handle what's happening up here, you're going to get tossed around, and it's not pretty, it's dangerous. So definitely, yeah, today we're talking about grounding. So exercise, really feeling your body. Exercise is activating your body on a cellular level. It increases cell turnover. It increases the excretion of waste from your body, sweating, your skin. is your largest detoxification organ. Um, yeah. And then there's also, and exercise could be different for everyone. I like to run. Stretching is really good. Weight calisthenics. Calisthenics is when you're using your own body weight to build muscle. So that's kind of the little mission that I'm on, is to gain more muscle. It helps with the appetite, etc., etc. So for all my overthinkers, my cerebral people who are prone to like anxiety, and even as far as like psychosis, like really extreme disconnections from the physical reality, from the 3D. Everybody's talking about the higher realms, but you got to be safe down here. And like, let's keep us safe and then go explore the higher realms. But with that being said, let's pull some cards. Thank you for listening. I'm glad you're here. I feel the need to point to the disclaimer that I'm not, a medical professional. Like, do consult your doctor. Does anybody really do that? I mean, if you have medical conditions, you absolutely should. But do consult your doctor, or consult, the person who knows best about your body is you. So, trust yourself, trust your intuition. If you're feeling like I need to eat something, please go eat something. Okay, let me uncross my legs here. A message for the collective, please. Whoever comes across this video, positive affirmation. Okay. So we have the future, 35. I plan for the future with respect for the unexpected. So this is all about, and what's on the bottom? Oh my gosh, and the past reversed is, oh no, it's not reversed. I don't really mess with the reversals too much. I feel like these there's already so much information. Maybe the day will come. If it comes out, you could definitely, you interpret it upside down. But anyway, 28, the past, affirmation. I shine awareness and compassion on my past. So that's a read. So I think the future card, um, it's really asking to, make your plans, have your visions, have your goals for what you want to experience in the future, but leave room for spirit, leave room for the unexpected, leave room for serendipity. And then simultaneously, if you're in a liminal space, if you're in a void space, we're in the dark moon right now, this moon in Virgo leading up to a full moon in Pisces on the 19th. Sometimes in that liminal space, waiting for the newness, the new to come in, we're kind of giving this blank moment, right? So we're staying grounded so that we can magnetize what we want to experience, but also looking on the past with compassion, and looking for the joy. For some, that could be harder than others. But it's important, while in the present moment and in the liminal space, that we honor where we came from, and not say, I get caught in this like almost self-deprecating conversation about the past of like, oh, you didn't do this and you should have done this and da 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 da. And then to go through all that, and at the very bottom and very base of it is like, yeah, but what did you do? And what did you accomplish? And even if it's not, measurable per se, if it's not obvious, if it's not like, oh, I, went to college and now I have and now I have my dream career, or, just honor, let's be kind to ourselves, let's be kind about the past, we wouldn't be who we are or where we are today without the past. And if you do look back and say, man, I'm really not where I want to be, and sorry, and seeing the choice points, like look at those choice points and look at what you chose and why. And that will help you in the present moment and moving forward and choosing differently for different outcomes. Oh, 2 years ago, I chose this at that kind of critical, important choice moment. And I don't want to create any kind of anxiety around that idea of critical. But like, there's moments where we have big choice points. And if you're not happy with all the choices you made, really like sit with your journal and journal about it. What did you choose? Why? What was going on around you at that time? What was going on internally at that time? How grounded were you? How grounded were you when you had that choice to make? Um, and then that way, with that self awareness and that kind of cognitive understanding of, oh, I made that choice because I was going through this, and at that time I wanted this outcome, and to be graceful with ourselves and to be kind to ourselves and to celebrate, because a huge huge lesson I learned in a really like crazy way was like, oh my god, I'm alive. Whatever else is going on is like extra. Like, I'm alive. I survived, whatever it was, my own thoughts, my own darkness. And like, I'm still here. So, like, what else can I do? Like, how good can I get? And I think we have to ask ourselves, like, how good can I get? And stay curious about our present moment and about our future. Um, so that's a read. I want to read. So they're saying we'll read the piece about the past. Is this Yeah, plan for the future with respect for the unexpected. Anything could happen. We'll make our plans. Sometimes there's an angelic intervention or any kind of intervention for the positive. Let's pray on that. Let's meditate with that. Let's manifest all some beautiful chance, serendipitous encounters with our hopes and dreams. All right. So this is the Emperor, patient, the confident. I was 35. 35 and 28. I'm not going to feel rushed. I was feeling a little rushed. We're just going to chill. We're just going to chill. Thank you for sitting here with me, for spending time with me. I just looked at that number. 28. I was on 38. Okay. Okay, so this is the art of the matter and the heart of the matter, and they are different. We're going to read the heart of the matter because there's a lot of information here. The heart of the matter. Our past, oh, they want me to read the whole thing. I shine awareness and compassion on my past. Under a darkening night sky, a cupid has come to a beautiful. Did I show you guys the image on this? So this is the past. And that now it's teaching me to look at the borders. Ooh, there's like dark water with lilies everywhere. They look like tiger lilies. I love tiger lilies. And the hills. And this is almost reminding me of like snake skin. And look at their posture. Look, I pointed at the butt. Look at their posture in talking to this other angel, like an older angel. Like they're kind of looking into the past and saying, ooh, what happened there? So let's see. Um, Under a darkening night sky, a cupid has come to a beautiful but lonely place. Hovering before him is a winged head that looks like one of his kind, but is not. This is the form taken by the angelic messengers who brings news from on high to the Cupids of the world. This higher being has come to inform Cupid of the consequences of his past experiences. The clouds grow even darker as Cupid learns that he was not born with many of the personality traits he had come to accept as his. His early childhood experiences with his mother, Venus, the goddess of love, and his father, Mercury, the wing footed god of communication, have had both good and bad influences on him. So, this is also about inner child work. So, past, like immediate past, but also like our deep past, like our healing our inner child wounds. And that's when I'm done reading this, if I can remember, we'll talk a little bit about that. Furthermore, his days of blithely bringing lovers together without thought to the consequences of his actions have resulted in many unions that have been successful, but a few that have ended in pain and regret. It is not easy for such a free spirit as Cupid to hear these things, but it is time for him to learn and grow and move on to greater challenges. Word, Cupid. We all reflected on our choices. Um, but again, we have discernment. So even whatever the gods and the spirits and the creatures of the spirit world may set up for us, we have to discern. At the end of the day, we know ourselves. It takes work to really truly know ourselves. I don't know. I'm not trying to. Not trying to mess with Cupid. We all have lessons. We all have lessons. This is very like, oh, like they have lessons too. And I think that's important to remember about the higher realms. Is like everybody's there's a job to be done, and there's like a law and order. I keep hearing the angelic realms, the angelic realms. There's law and order that happens there. So we all, let's all work together and try and do good and help each other, and that's that's what I feel like. But thank you. Okay. And thank you for your assistance with this reading. I have to say thank you more. I noticed that about my videos. It's like thank you spirits, thank you for these messages. Thank you for, you know, spending your time with me. I hope this serves you in some way. Maybe that maybe that'll be like an intro outro of my conversation. But okay, we'll keep reading. I don't have ADD at all. What are you talking about? As he learns from his past, he gains perspective on his life as a whole. He starts to look less like an infant and more like a young man slash god. Though his wings grow smaller, he rises to new levels of enlightenment. His new self awareness is symbolized by his self conscious attempt to cover his nakedness. Like Adam and Eve, even Cupid matures when he confronts his past. That growth, we get in that growth out here. We are witnessing a momentous occasion, for this Cupid has been going about his business of love for what seems like many centuries, and he is now ready for the new chapter opening in his life. He can no longer go about his business without relating his actions to what he has learned from the past. He has learned that, although his childhood is now over, it still lives on in his memories and in his very being. Cellular renewal. As he continues to walk through the garden of life, he will be more aware of his patterns and, for the most part, avoid getting stuck by the thorns of plants that have hurt him in the past. Confronting the past is a rite of passage that every thinking being must endure. So somebody's going through it. We're all going through it. So inner child work is like when you're in meditation, you could picture yourself as an inner child. You could picture yourself as a child from your memory and go to them. And you could kind of, if you just sit with them and listen, for everybody, this will look different. You could kind of feel into how they're feeling. And then with your memory, you can, what was happening at that time. And you could really talk to their inner child and find out, you know, where they're hurting, why they're hurting. Um, I get really distracted by the cars driving by. Where they're hurting, why they're hurting, what they have to say about it, and what they need. And you could sit with that and sit with your inner child. And then the more you meditate with your inner child, different healing, different points that need healing will come up. And then there comes a point in time where you can call on your inner child just to play with them, and spend time with them. And this looks like in meditation, it's going to look however it looks for you. You could just set the intention to meet with your inner child, or you could specify an age, or often I feel like spirit will bring you your inner child at the age that most needs resolution from you. And it's really beautiful. You could reparent your inner child and reparent yourself. You can rediscover different joys and aspects of your personality. It could end up like a soul retrieval kind of situation, where if you experience trauma as a child, through doing the inner child meditations, um, through doing that work, you reclaim pieces of you and parts of you, your joy, your sense of safety. And for different people, there's going to be varying degrees of pain and trauma there. So when doing this work, I think it's important to be really gentle with yourself. And I think it's really important too to get in touch with the part of you that, because the inner child is you from back then. Um, so like I found that doing things that like I would do as a kid, like going on a hike and delighting in the natural world, or crawling around the floor like a tiger, and like playing with my inner child, playing with myself. And it really lights up this incredible, or it could, for me, I feel very fortunate of, you know I was really able to get in touch with my joy better. Folks who have kids, there's nothing like being around a child that could activate your inner child wounding as well as your inner child joy. You know, there's really an opportunity with your children to like re-experience the wonder of a child through your child's eyes. And I feel like, the more inner child healing you do with your own self, the more inner child work that you're doing with your own self, that really reverberates in a really fun way in your relationship with your children. Um, okay. So, the heart of the matter. Our past, and especially our childhood, still lives on in our memories and in our daily behavior. Oh, cellular renewal. So I know they say every 7 years, your body is physically completely different than it was the 7 years prior due to cellular renewal. So again, like if your grounding practice is exercise, you're renewing, you kind of speed up that renewal process. And that, you know, um, uh, that exercise, you're lighting up really positive aspects of your brain that reinforce the good behavior. So there's that whole idea of like, natural serotonin and natural dopamine release. So like eating a banana, exercising, these things that are good for us. Our body naturally, releases dopamine and serotonin, and I'm sure other chemicals. But what also happens is there's a number of different things that exist that also release these chemicals but aren't good for us. So they're a manipulation. They're unnatural. Um, like like nicotine, for example. Like you smoke a cigarette and you get that brain, those brain chemicals. Um, but those same brain chemicals could be released by going for a run, which has benefit and which hurts you. I could eat a candy bar or a banana. They both have the same effect up here, but which one helps and which one hurts? So that's how that goes. Our past, especially our childhood, still lives on in our memories and in our daily behavior. This is the heart of the matter. You must become more aware of your traumas, habits, and patterns of behavior. Yeah, yeah. All our self limiting habits and attitudes initially formed as protective reactions to painful events in our past. So, yeah, to do this work. So, again, going back to that choice point of like, do I choose the addiction or do I choose the healthy behavior? What did that I remember I read somewhere that somatically, like your body, like if you're trying to change your behavior, like punishing yourself about it makes it harder. So it's almost like finding that place of like, thank you, you served me at this point. I was unconscious, engaging in this behavior. I am conscious now. I no longer need to engage in this behavior. I'm going to choose better. Um, Whatever you are unconscious of will manifest itself at the worst possible time and in the worst possible way until you deal with it, thereby becoming stronger. This is another thing. We are always manifesting. We are always 24/7, 365. Just by existing, you are manifesting. You are manifesting your experiences. So, like your choices and how you choose to carry yourself, behave. Your thoughts are also to some degree a choice. Again, once you reach that level of consciousness, you realize like I have control over this. But it's not like, oh, I'm just going to think nice thoughts all the time forever now. It takes discipline, it takes work to reprogram your thoughts, and that's where things like affirmations come in. I memorized a few lines of a poem, and when I feel my thoughts getting like really negative and it like won't stop, and no matter how much I'm trying working to redirect it, it's just ingrained. I recite the lines of the poem or a prayer, whatever works for you. What was an appropriate way of dealing with challenges in the past? Did I finish that thought? Yeah, retraining your brain to think positively. It takes work, but it does work. Like from where I am now compared to where I was a year ago is so different. Is so different, and it took a lot of work and it took a lot of discipline and a lot of dedication, and I feel like I still have work to do, but it's so worth it. I just want to say that it's worth it. Um, to go from yeah, to go from where I was, which was really just not a good place, mentally, physically, really. I mean, a lot of stuff was. I'm losing battery power. A lot of stuff was, yeah, it's worth it. It's worth the discipline. It really is. And like, I I feel like yeah, I'm not going to talk about myself. I'm just going to keep going. However, it is the nature of habits to rule us unless we first become aware that they are habits. Examine the events that gave rise to them and become aware when they are active. Habits can be transformed through patience, awareness, and substituting positive habits, including affirmations and visualizations. Remember that your life will change for the better if the habitual way of doing things is eliminated. The nature of habits is that we are usually unaware of them, and so a little loving outside help is sometimes needed. I hope, and I think I hope I could be a little bit of loving outside help for folks. And I'm not saying I've reached like pinnacle performance. I definitely haven't. Like I'm still engaging with some bad habits. I'm still struggling with my thoughts. And I think, it's an ongoing thing. And it's like just the growth that I've experienced from a year ago to now. I want to share what I've learned, not only share what I've learned, but I'd also like to just be there for folks who are going through that stuff, because to go through it completely alone and to not feel, I have ample support, but I would really, I'm really happy to have the opportunity to be here with you today and to offer support. And also, you know, I know I have the readings listed up on Buy Me a Coffee, but if you're going through this stuff, please feel free to like leave a comment or send a message, because I just love talking about this. I love talking about growth. And I think the more, you know, to engage socially with folks who are also uh, with a growth mindset, I think that's good for all of us. So, okay. Is that it for today? Do we want to pull another card? A dragon, a blossom, a messenger oracle? Messenger oracle. What, we're at 30 minutes. I think that's good. I think let's do an empowerment card to close it out for today. I'm going to be running around doing, oh my gosh, you like my hat? I made this hat. I'm very pleased. This is another one, a crochet piece too. You can't really see it. It has crazy stitches. And it's supposed to be, yeah, the light's not really great, but it's supposed to be like a landscape. See, I have to stay grounded too. I have my garnet. Yeah, there's all kinds of practices to stay grounded, but it's literally like eat, exercise, and like everything else is extra, to focus in, breathe into your root chakra, breathe into your earth star chakra. So that's maybe 3 to 6 feet under your feet on the ground. Meditate with that. Meditate on your ground chakra. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And just sometimes the feeling too, like when your energy is all like, we're like here up, going into the ground chakra, I could feel it getting pulled down my back, getting pulled down my spine, but really my whole back, and just pulling all that energy down into the root, into the ground, like an electrical conduit, like think of it that way, like a lightning rod. You want to be, well, different people have different assignments, but whatever's coming up from the ether, we want it to go down into the ground. And I like to picture like mycelial roots coming from the bottoms of my feet into the ground, and really like interlocked with the ground and interlocked with the other trees. And just like trees send signals, whatever energy wants to come through you, you don't even have to do anything if you're nice and grounded and connected into the earth. It's just, trees will send trees nutrients through those mycelial roots, right? Through those networks under the ground. And it's kind of like we have a similar network. So as when you're grounded and your roots are strong, you're bringing in energy from the ether down to the planet, and that's good for everybody. Grounding, that's grounding, and then that's how you magnetize as well. Part of, and it's different for everybody. Manifesting is different for everybody. But let me focus. Yeah, the goddesses are talking. Everybody's talking. Everybody's talking at me. I don't hear a word they're saying, just the echoes of my mind. You ever hear that song? It gets very silly. I won't let you leave my love behind. All right, is this the one? So we got spirituality. So she came through yesterday. We're going to read the book on her today. cherry blossom, and the Chinese peacock butterfly. Beautiful. I love that deep green dragon. So that's like our heart, our high heart chakra, that pink color. And it's like almost like a wand for spirituality, your connection to spirit, your connection to the ether and etheric realms. Ooh, see now I had so and also after your practice, like so I have to ground after this. Um Otherwise I'll just float away. Oh, no more of that. I think a teacher also on YouTube, maybe I'll I want to do like articles where I link some of the folks that I follow and just like give them a shout out. But a teacher I followed was talking about, this idea of like when your energy is all like, here and up, hopefully your heart's open here and up, or like solar plexus up. It's almost like if you imagine like your energy body just like sitting on top of your head, or if like your aura field, your bubble like stops here. So somebody could come up and just wipe your, or something, or an event could take place that's just going to knock you right off your feet, and then you have to recover. So wherever you are, let's read this. Ooh, okay. The cherry blossom is a widely celebrated flower with festivals. Ooh, another way, another way of even checking to see if you are grounded is like how in tune with your body are you? Like how long does it take you to realize that you're dehydrated, that you feel thirsty? Like what should be happening is you don't even get to the point of feeling thirsty. You don't even get to the point of like your mouth being dry because you're hydrated. You're hydrating all day. Or like how long does it take you to realize that you're hungry? Oh, I haven't eaten since 11 a.m. Or um or other even more obvious stuff. And this is real for people who have trauma in their root chakra. Like how long does it take you to realize that you need to use the restroom? And this is very real. This is, I've experienced this where it's like I don't realize it until it's at emergency point. I'm like, how long have I been ignoring the signals of my own body? So that's something really important to pay attention to, and it might be an indication. It doesn't have to be crazy. It might be an indication that you just need to ground more and take tune into your body. I think um so many people have this experience of like having to rush. You wake up in the morning and you rush to work, and you're like eating on your way to work, and then you sit at work all day. And it's like, how many times have you had to override your body's like signals and preferences during that period of time? Probably a lot. So like learning to slow down and really tune into how your body is feeling is worth it. For folks dealing with trauma, like somatic practices are really helpful. Um, this card call I'm not going to read the whole passage. This card calls you to contemplate your personal spirituality and how it affects your life and your happiness. Your personal spirituality is more profound than a belief in a god, gods, or religion. It embodies how you connect to others and that which is greater. It informs your sense of meaning and place in the world. Use your heart to decipher what feels true for you. Spirituality is the soil in which you grow. It nurtures, sustains, and connects you to everything within and beyond the mundane. Understanding your personal spirituality and belief will bring you a greater knowledge of who you are. What is my spirituality? What do I know to be true for me? All right, I'm back, and I grabbed my tea. Green tea with jasmine. It's so yummy. All right, so spirituality. We could also do a review Lots going on, lots going on. All right. You said a lot today. Yeah, so here we are. Earth and Air Dragon represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Stay balanced, ground your visions, manifest your hopes and dreams. So we're definitely um, being called to stay in the present moment, continue manifesting, continue watering your seeds of what you want to experience, embodying what you want to experience. And then it may be wise as well to start an inner child practice, uh, healing your inner child, playing with your inner child, spending time with your inner child. And that could be in meditation. That could also be in like your hobbies and things that you like to do, things that you liked as a kid. Yeah. All right. So thank you, spirit team, for being oh, do we want to keep going? All right, we'll do one more. This is the messenger oracle. Ooh, that was really for me to be like, no, I'm ending it. Like, I'm done. I gotta go to work. Let's see what comes out though. My hat up. Too. Ooh, buddy. We've got embrace the dark and seek your destiny. So I think we're being called to. Oh, no more cards. I'm just playing. We're being called to embrace the dark, the shadow, to do that shadow work. Sometimes that comes up with the inner child work. And, I think so many, I'm throwing stuff now. So embracing the dark, embracing the shadow work, embracing the aspect of spirit, spirituality isn't all rainbows and light beings, and it's so ethereal and wistful and beautiful up here. Like, you have to do like part of that grounding down, part of that um creating your root system to rise up from is the shadow, is the underworld. The roots grow into the soil. So what are the deepest, darkest parts of you? And to know them, um to know them to the best you can, on the ins and outs of them, so that they can't upend you. There's a card in here. Can you show me? Oh, my ear's ringing. All right. Yeah, so shadow work is important. And then, like, personally, I believe, I don't know if this is for everybody, but I feel like your destiny, like your highest timeline, like the best possible outcome for you in this lifetime, and I think there's multiple of them. There's so many different paths you could take. I don't know, um, your destiny, your dreams come true, or better than your dreams come true, lies in that deep, dark inner work. So that's why, spiritual peer services, I'm definitely, um, I don't claim any kind of title. I'm a person on the path, but I've come a decent way where like I'd like to leave everybody some breadcrumbs and also be a space for camaraderie. Like not I can't do the work for you, but I could be somewhere be a person where when things get really scary or things get too much or folks need clarity, like I'm here. Um yeah, we got trusted magic. There's a card that's know your fears. Seek your answers within, but we'll trust what spirit's giving us. Because know your fears is like know your dark side. Uh, it's a little different. Like know your fears, know your triggers, so that when they happen, you know what you need to do to like ground down and like deal with that. But I think in knowing your fears, yeah, know the deepest, darkest parts of you and show those deepest, darkest parts love and acceptance. And man, it's going to be what it is. It's different for everybody. So, with so much love and grace for you all, thank you for joining me. I'm so grateful that I get to do this. And, I hope this is of service to you. Bye.